How many African teams this year at the World Cup will make it past the group stages? I'm going to be ranking every single African country that has qualified for the World Cup based on the likelihood of them making it to the knockout stages. I already did this for every single Asia country, so if you missed that video, make sure you check it out. Same exact concept, except Asia might have been a bit more straightforward. A lot of the African teams we're going to be talking about in today's video are going to be absolute mystery bags at the World Cup, and for all different reasons. I'll be real with you guys off the bat. We have 5 teams we're looking at today, and I already have a somewhat clear indicator, at least in my opinion, for a first place team and a 5th place team. But between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, it is way too tough to call. So in this list, I'll be going from bottom to top, least likely to most likely to make it to the knockouts. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new, and please leave an early like. Let's try to hit 1,000 likes on this video. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Starting off with my number 5 pick, I have gone for Cameroon. Now, why would I put Cameroon so low when they just finished at 3rd place in the most recent Africa Cup of Nations, which did happen this year? Well, in their country's history at the World Cup, they only made it past the group stage once, and that was in 1990, where they actually made it all the way to the quarterfinals, which is very impressive. And going back to the Africa Cup of Nations run this year, all of their matches were cut very close apart from that Ethiopia match where they beat them 4-1. In the round of 16s, they came up against Comoros and beat them only 2-1, while Comoros conceded a 7th-minute red card. No disrespect to Comoros, they impressed a lot of people in that tournament, but come on. Cameroon seemed to have a solidified attacking partnership between AAvfx and Karl Toko Ekambi. Both very impressive players, but throughout recent times, it seems like they have really cut it down to the wire in many of these matchups, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. They're still doing the job. They just did it against Algeria in the last World Cup qualifier round, where in the 124th minute, Karl Toko Ekambi scored off of a set piece. So this team has had some clutch moments this year, but in my opinion, it's going to be too tough in this group they're in. They got very unlucky with this draw. Brazil, let's be real, are one of the World Cup favorites for many. I don't have to elaborate myself there. Serbia look like a very much improved side that are very much looking to write some history at this World Cup. They've never made it past the group stage since they became an independent country, and now this looks like their best shot to do so. The other European country in this group, Switzerland, have a fantastic history in the recent tournaments that they participated in terms of making it out of the group stage. Ever since the 2014 World Cup, they have always made it to the knockouts. Although Cameroon can very much prove me wrong, I do see Brazil topping this group, followed with either Serbia or Switzerland grabbing 2nd place. Maybe Cameroon can stir up the group a little bit, but I think the skill set is just going to be a bit too much for them. They obviously have some phenomenal players. I already talked about Karl Toko Ekambi and AAvfx's partnership. They've also got Choupo-Moting in the attack, a phenomenal midfielder, Zambo Anguissa, who every team should definitely watch out for. He is such a skillful player for Napoli. However, I have seen a decent amount of complaints that he does not turn up the same for the national team. This video is being recorded in August, so there's very much potential for things to change. However, one of their best options in the center back role, Matip, is not being selected for the national team still. Not to mention, Cameroon have appointed a new manager this year, Song, who took charge straight after Cameroon's 3rd place finish in the Africa Cup of Nations. He obviously isn't doing badly for himself. He qualified Cameroon in the final round for the World Cup. Very impressive, but too many narrow wins for the country. They could turn things around, but to be honest, I don't see it. Maybe they won't finish bottom, but I don't see them making it to the knockouts. Now taking a look at that number 4 team, and like I said, this is where things start to get tricky. Every team here on out is a mystery bag type of country, but my number 4th pick is Morocco. A lot of Moroccan fans are very hopeful for their country now, as they just sacked their manager Halil Hodzic, the man who took Morocco to the World Cup. A risky decision, doing so 3 months before the tournament. Now Walid Regragui is expected to replace him. But why would Halil Hodzic get sacked right before the World Cup begins if he qualified them? Well, this is the 3rd time this has happened to him, actually. First time in 2010 for Ivory Coast, 2nd time for Japan in 2018, and it all lies under one common theme where he wasn't able to get along with the players. That's why Ziyech retired internationally. That's why Mazraoui had problems joining the national team. Seemed like he finally resolved things with Halil Hodzic, but still, it took some time. Not to mention, Morocco are already in such a difficult group that they need to rely on these type of players that they were missing because of the conflicts with Halil Hodzic. It isn't confirmed yet, but it looks like Ziyech will return, so their attack will be improving a lot. And while Regragui has less experience than Halil Hodzic managing, he literally just won the African Champions League. Although maybe there's less experience, he definitely will be unifying the squad more than Halil Hodzic, which does give Morocco a very solid shout at getting out of this group. But looking at it, this group is very difficult. Belgium love to kill in the group stage. Croatia just made it to a World Cup final. And Canada, we already see the damage that they are causing. Kings of CONCACAF at the moment, scoring loads of goals in those qualifiers. They're looking to have an underdog tale themselves. That's why I'm putting them low for now. It's still a bit too early to tell for Morocco. I am nervous for them, don't get me wrong, but I am not 100% sold yet. We still have to see how the national team will develop over the course of these 3 months before the World Cup begins. But yeah, in regards to this video, 4th place isn't even bad for my personal list because, like I said, everything else is just such a mixed bag. So let's move on to that number 3 team I have selected. It's gotta be Tunisia. Now, yes, in my last prediction video, I had Tunisia going out of the group stage. So why are they only at number 3? Well, although that's still very much a possibility, if we're talking about likelihood compared to the other teams, it might be a bit far-fetched. Again, a mixed bag type of team. Although Tunisia are looking like they're very much improving, which I'll obviously get into very soon, that prediction was mostly based off of the World Cup curse, which I am at the moment anticipating to happen. The Champions Curse involves every previous champion to tank it in the group stage. France are known to be struggling a bit now. We saw them bottle some matches in the Nations League recently. There's even talks about Mbappe's ego getting in the way. But look at that squad they had. Although I still see the Champions Curse happening, it would be insane if it does. Denmark as well is a very tough team that had a glorious run in the last Euros where they made it all the way to the semi-finals. So both those matchups are not going to be easy. However, Tunisia are playing France on the final match day. So maybe, just maybe, they can ruin their parade. Continue the Champions Curse and make it to the knockouts. This would obviously be historic for Tunisia as they never made it past the group stage in the World Cup before. This will be their first time if they successfully do it. Last time in 2018, they got very unlucky in the group they were in. It was going to be a very tough task against Belgium and England. Come on. Regardless, though, Tunisia is such an underrated side. In the recent Africa Cup of Nations tournaments, they very much impressed. They made it all the way to the semifinals in 2019 where they lost to Senegal 1-0. Then they got knocked down in the quarterfinals in 2022, but in the round of 16s, they beat Nigeria. Like the other teams already mentioned, Tunisia did just appoint a new manager this year, Jalel Kadri, who looks like he's very much improving and evolving the squad. His first test was obviously that final round of the World Cup qualifiers where they did qualify over just one own goal over both legs against Mali. A common reference point to the other videos, but yeah, in their recent friendlies, they were able to beat Japan and Chile by pretty significant scorelines, and those are both very solid teams that many people rate. Sure, they were just friendlies, but it's just showing that Tunisia are looking to improve their attack significantly. It seems like that was a bit of an issue in the past. Many low-scoring games. Kadri is taking the risk, taking the likes of Khazri out of the lineup and giving other players the chance to shine. So many underlooked players in the squad. Hannibal Mejbri, a youngster on Manchester United who still isn't really getting much of a chance for the club. Youssef Masakni, Skihiri on Koln. The list goes on and on. Tunisia are one of the most underrated sides going into this World Cup, especially since so many people still believe France will make it out of the group. With that amazing squad, it looks to be too tough for Tunisia on paper, but they just got to believe that that Champions Curse will continue and they got to be the team to make it happen, as they will be the final one to play France. Number 2 is gonna go to Ghana. I'm using the term mystery bag throughout this video a bunch, I know, but Ghana is the biggest example of this case. Ghana have been dreadful recently. We saw them crash out of the Africa Cup of Nations at 4th place in a group where they should have been better. The absolute turnaround happened where they were able to beat Nigeria in the last round of the Africa World Cup qualifiers. And after qualifying, so many players are willing to change their represented nation in order to play for the World Cup and represent Ghana. Inaki and Neko Williams changing from Spain. Lamptey from Brighton. Ambrosius, the center back on Hamburg. Salisu, a fantastic Premier League defender, has always rejected the Black Stars call-ups, but now he has finally accepted, so that is a huge upgrade for the defense. They're still attempting to recruit other Premier League players like Nketiah on Arsenal, Callum Hudson-Odoi on Chelsea. Ghana are recruiting so many players to join them all in the span of 1 year. It's as if they're playing career mode, but it's a national team, so it just feels so odd, yet it's the main reason why they are an absolute mystery bag of a team at this tournament. We don't know how these new players are going to adapt for the national team. There's not many months to train with the squad. However, they're all very talented players and they've been called up for a reason. We'll see what happens. Other players who are already on the squad that are very much impressive include Thomas Partey, who plays for Arsenal, Alexander Djiku, a very composed center back, but my personal favorite, Fatau Isahaku. This guy is only 18 years old and he feels like an absolute cheat code for the national team. Again, just like the other 3 teams already mentioned, a new manager has come this year. After being the assistant coach for Borussia Mönchengladbach and Borussia Dortmund, Ottawalo has decided to represent the Ghana national team. Just like all the other players that have just been recruited for the national team, he is a fellow dual national, so maybe he'll be able to connect with those new players that are coming in. But obviously, we gotta talk about Ghana's group. It looks tough on the surface, where Ghana and South Korea both look like the underdogs in this. However, there is very much room for a potential upset. Portugal, despite looking like a phenomenal side on paper, might disappoint with their current manager Santos, who seems to play a somewhat outdated system with the amazing talent that they have. Uruguay looked to struggle previously in the qualifiers. They have just appointed their new manager, Diego Alonso, and have been looking to improve ever since then. However, who knows? Form may be temporary. They do have a lot of amazing players on there, old and new, and obviously, we've said it before, Ghana could be out for revenge after what happened in 2010 with Luis Suarez. Ghana seriously could have broken history there, being the first African team to make it to the semifinal in the World Cup if it weren't for him. We've seen revenge stories like this happen in the group stage before, so don't count out Ghana in that matchup. It should be very interesting to watch. Are Ghana the favorites in this group? Not at all. But like I said, the biggest mystery of a team in this tournament, which is why I don't want to rule them out and why I think they might have a solid likelihood of making it out of the group stage. So yes, the #1 pick, no surprises here. I have gone for Senegal. The strongest team on paper in Africa is also left with, in my opinion, possibly the most doable group. They shouldn't underestimate these opponents, obviously. Netherlands will be their toughest task for sure. And we also shouldn't count out the hosts. As we know, in history, only one host nation has not made it to the knockouts, and that was South Africa in 2010. Qatar could easily be the second, but still, you can't rule them out. And Ecuador, we saw how impressive they were in the World Cup qualifiers. Granted, they weren't as great away, so maybe the teams in this group will be able to take advantage of that. Their manager, Aliou Cisse, is the only manager we're talking about in this video that has actually stayed with the national team for a long time and hasn't been appointed just this year. He's been with the national team since 2015, and although the federation almost gave up on him, it's good that they didn't. He led Senegal to 2 AFCON finals, winning the most recent one. He beat Egypt head-to-head twice on penalties in matches where it very much mattered. And to be honest, he is a tactical genius who brings out the best out of this Senegalese side, with phenomenal players who have very much improved over the years while he has managed. Sadio Mane, Mendy and Koulibaly on Chelsea, Idrissa Gueye, Kouyaté, Sarr. Such a phenomenal side where not only do I have the most faith in them to make it out of the group stage, I also have the most faith in them to make the deepest run out of any of these African countries. That probably is the most popular opinion in this video, Senegal being ranked as the team to most likely have a significant World Cup run. The rest though, I think it's going to be all over the place, so I would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments. It's okay if you disagree. Like I said, I'm very torn about most of these picks because mystery, absolute mystery between all the African countries that we will be seeing at the World Cup. Can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, before I sign off, I just want to apologize for the lack of uploads this month. Life's just been hitting me like crazy, but not only that, I have a lot of videos prepared for this coming month involving the Champions League. I'll be going to Europe, vlogging some matches as well, and the Nations League is coming up. So please make sure you subscribe. This next week might be a bit slow as well, but after that, going out with the bang. So thank you all for making it to the end. Like I said, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you're new. Like this video if you haven't already. Appreciate you all. See you all very, very soon for more World Cup content and the Champions League coming up. Like I said, take care. Boa noite.